Fridays. We did a little producer swap. Anthony now in the producer seat as Earl goes and awaits our guest upstairs. He's going to bring him down and bring him onto the show once he is here. But guys, the question Earl wanted to ask for this next topic is we spent a ton of time talking about the Cavs and why they have waited to make a move. But he wants to change the team in that question to the Guardians. And he asked the question, and I'm going to read it exactly as Earl sent it. And I quote from Earl, why haven't the Guardians made an impact move to improve the roster yet? Tyvis,
I think the number one thing or the biggest domino was the Gavin Williams. I think they wanted to see what Gavin would be. I think they understand that they need pitching, but I think Jason brought it up a little bit earlier. Do we need one pitcher or do we need two pitchers? Because you got to approach it totally different. I think now that they're seeing Gavin perform at the level that they thought he would, they thinking to themselves, all right, we need one. Or maybe they assessing, I think that's why you see all these guys coming up and down, to see who can contribute in the hitting department, to see maybe if we need to go get a shortstop, maybe we need to go get an outfielder. So I think right now they're in their evaluation stage, but I think the biggest and the first domino was the Gavin Williams, and I think his solid start last night let them know that we need one more pitcher, and I think we'll see them start to get more aggressive.
It's July 9th. That's why they haven't made a move.
Yep.
And it's not out of lack of, I'm sure, want on their end. It's more the market isn't established yet, and teams that sell don't really sell until we get close to the deadline. We've seen a couple moves. The Padres have been aggressive and got Luis Ariz a few weeks ago. Miami was the one team that made it clear. I think we had a story in The Athletic on this a couple weeks ago. Miami was willing to do business prior to the deadline. But
they put Jazz Chisholm on the block today. Officially said he's up.
And Jesus Luzardo was the big piece that Bull kept talking about, is the piece that would fit well here, but he's been hurt. Mm-hmm. So without that, if that's the one team that was willing to play ball, but they lose their best piece that fits you the best. So you'll see a flurry of trades here in baseball as we get closer to the deadline. But
what's the deadline date?
July 30. I think it's the 30th this year. Yeah, it used to be the 31st.
So
but I think
21 days.
Yeah,
there's 3 weeks from the deadline. Is to Jason's point. That's why we haven't seen anything yet. Most baseball deals don't happen until after the All-Star break. And part of the reason is since Major League Baseball incorporated that extra wild card team, we still have 10-ish games to figure out who's going to be a buyer, who's going to be sellers, and who's going to be stuck in the middle. And right now, as of this morning, there are only 5 teams in Major League Baseball completely out of it.
The Angels,
the Athletics, the White Sox, the Rockies, and the Marlins. That's it. Every other team in baseball is within single-digit games of the second wild card spot in their respective conference.
So a lot of times teams don't decide if they're buyers or sellers until maybe that one more series plays out on July 23rd.
Exactly.
Would you take Cal Quantrill back?
Yeah, I would take Cal Quantrill back. But another important piece to this that no other sport deals with is the draft. The draft is the middle of the season.
It is.
So
it's coming up on Sunday, by the way.
Yeah. So imagine, in the NFL, if the draft was in November.
Week 13.
Yeah. And that's sort of what baseball is dealing with. So front offices are putting a lot of their attention right now on the draft. And obviously there's the number one pick that, but there's picks after the number one pick that you have to be prepared for as well. So that takes up a lot of time. And now, Chris Antonetti and Mike Chernoff, this is what's different about baseball, have people whose sole focus is the draft.
Do you have a person that you want them to get? See somebody say something about the kid from, I think, West Virginia.
West Virginia, Oregon State.
The shortstop.
Yeah, the shortstop.
Yeah, then there's Bazana and Charlie Condon.
Who you picking?
We have, by the way, coming up this week, tomorrow, Joe Doyle, MLB draft expert's going to come on the show to break down some of the prospects. And on Friday, we have another baseball draft expert from Perfect Game.
Who you picking?
I would like to see Condon, but I don't think it's going to be
I like Bazana.
Which team?
Bazana, Oregon State, and he likes the Georgia guy.
I like Georgia, but it very well could be the shortstop from West Virginia. Very well could be.
I just seen something like maybe a week ago that was talking about him. Like he I think it was on the news. It was on Channel 8 this past Sunday. It was talking about the kid from West Virginia. I was like, that's who they.
Because baseball is weird with
there's money and slot.
It's a very different draft than basketball and football. It's weird. So
yeah, so nobody's watching it.
Back to answer. No, people will watch the draft. At least the first
They
round.
actually did this right now, where they moved it over All-Star Weekend.
So there's something to talk about
Right.
in that dead period.
Right.
But back to the question, why haven't they made a move? The teams that are going to sell, for the most part, don't even know who's in the game as buyers yet to evaluate what the best package they can get back for said players. So like a guy like Garrett Crochet from the White Sox, let's say they wanted to blow it up. And in a world where this hypothetical is going on, they would trade him to the Cleveland Guardians despite being in division. Why would they take a package from the Guardians now as opposed to waiting 2 weeks and then you may have 4 or 5 teams also enter the bidding conversation to see which package is actually the best for them long term? So I don't think it's a lack of attempt necessarily from the Guardians. And Zach Meisel said something great yesterday on his podcast, like don't hang on to every word Mike Chernoff and Chris Antonetti say on radio hits about calling teams right now. He's not going to play his entire hand and tell teams around the league what exactly they're trying to do and accomplish. That only hurts their ability to make a deal down the road. So I think it's just part of how it works. Like I don't think the Guardians are being slow by any means in terms of trying to improve this roster.
What position does Cody Bellinger play? Outfield?
Center field.
If they traded for him and that's all they did, how would you feel?
I think they need pitching help.
I'm just asking.
But I would even take another, and I know this is going to sound nutty, I would take another bullpen arm, like an elite bullpen arm.
You've been saying this for a while now.
So if it ain't
Make it a 5-inning game.
So if it ain't a pitcher, you really don't
Well,
agree with
no, I mean, I would take Bo Bichette in a second. I would take a shortstop.
I would take that too.
And it would solve the issue for this year and for next year. But I like any move they make for me is geared toward October. It's not. I mean, yes, you have to get there, but what can you do to maximize this roster in October? And the more you can shorten a game down,
Pitcher.
if you can, especially when it's been lively on the mound, if you can get him 2 times through the order and that's it, get him through the 4th inning. We talk about Cade Smith, and it's asking a lot on a rookie, and it's a lot different in the postseason than it is in the regular season. But we can only go off what we have, and Cade Smith has been dominant, as has Hunter Gaddis. Emmanuel Clase. So right there's 3, and they've had other arms that have been great this year. But
Is Karinchak ever gonna come back?
Don't even stop it.
Yeah, I don't even. I was actually thinking about him the other day at the game,
Mister.
but he. He's got a wicked curve, but no, I don't think you can count on James Karinchak right now. But if you can get another, even Mason Miller from the A's, an elite strikeout arm, power arm to put at the back of the bullpen, if you count those 4 guys, that's 12 outs and probably 15 or 16 outs.
You can stretch them. They're all. I mean, Clase's going more than an inning. Miller's going more than an inning.
So
Gaddis has a starter background.
If you can get 4 to 5 innings out of those guys, and you're cutting games down to 4 innings out of your starter. I mean, the Reds won. I'm going back 40 years now, 35 years. The Reds won a World Series that way with the Nasty Boys. Go back and look at the Nasty Boys of Norm Charlton and Rob Dibble, Randy Myers. They had 3 closers essentially for the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Game over. If the Reds had the lead in the 6th inning, the game's over. And the Guardians very much could play that way, where you're really cutting the game down and what you're expecting from your starters. I wouldn't mind if they went that route. Load up on the bullpen.
Yeah.
It's become such a bullpen game now.
But it has to be pitching in some sort.
I would like it to be.
Over a bat. In your mind, if you had to choose one or the other.
If you had to choose one or the other?
Whether it's a bat or an arm starter
As nutty
reliever.
as it sounds, I would take an arm over a bat, even if it's a reliever. I would take that.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We got 3 weeks.
It's crazy that we're sitting here on July 9th. The Guardians have 5 All-Stars and 4 from the lineup. Bieber pitched 2 games this season. Logan Allen's been sent to AAA. Tristan McKenzie's been sent to AAA.
That is crazy.
Bybee started the season on the rocks, and the Guardians are literally 23 games over 500 with the 2nd or 3rd best record in Major League Baseball right now. It makes absolutely no sense. There's no logical explanation for it. Their offense, outside of Naylor and Ramirez, has no real consistent run producers. If you make an RBI leaders chart, it's Jose, it's Naylor, and then it's a bunch of other guys. Quan's been incredible, but he's not driving in runs for the leadoff spot.
Right.
The fact that they're 56 and 33, it makes no sense. It's an incredible story. It's the best story in baseball, and that's why it's been so much fun to watch it, because none of this makes sense. And I don't care because they win.
But this has been all three Cleveland sports this year where it just didn't make sense. Like the Browns started this stuff off with the stuff that they did. Like it made no sense how they was winning games. And now you fast forward to the Guardians, it's the same thing. They just, like I say, teams in Cleveland right now is just finding ways to win. Like it defies logic, but at the end of the day, they're gonna do whatever it takes.
The backbone to this franchise for 20 years has been pitching. Mm-hmm. And if you go back and look at their opening day rotation, Shane Bieber, Gavin Williams, Tanner Bybee, Tristan McKenzie, Logan Allen. Those 5. Yeah. Bybee is the only one. He's the only one. Bieber out for the year. McKenzie, AAA. Logan Allen now AAA. It's incredible that they've been able to hold this thing together with the rotation that has been the backbone of this franchise for decades in the position that it's in.
They do have help coming. They did sign Matthew Boyd.
Help is on the way.
Speaking of on the way, our guest is ready, and so do a read, and let's bring in our guest.
Yeah, guys, what's up today? I know Jason's not going to believe me on this one, but I love sports so much, I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games, and the sports just aren't sporting like I want them to. FanDuel, though, lets me keep up with the sports whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone every single day, all summer long. So all you have to do is head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS and start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball.